In this video, I'm going to show you how to resize your images for the AP Studio Art 2D Design Digital Portfolio. You're going to take your enormous printable files and make them web ready to submit on your AP test. According to the AP website, these are their current recommendations. We need JPEG format. We need RGB color mode. We should probably stick with a maximum of 72 pixels per inch because a higher resolution does not add clarity on a computer screen. That will also keep our files smaller. The landscape orientation recommended maximum size is 530 by 780 pixels, or you can do it in inches, and then the portrait orientation is just the opposite. And finally, our maximum file size, once we change to all these settings, needs to be 3 megabytes or less, and that should be no problem because once we switch to these dimensions and resolution, it will likely be quite a bit smaller than that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open up a picture, a finished picture. This is a picture that I took on a cell phone, so it is likely lower quality, lower resolution than what you're going to be looking at when you follow along on your own computer. So what we're going to do is go to File, Save for Web and Devices. It will likely give you this pop-up that says that it's going to slow down your computer, your image is too big, just say yes. And then the box that pops up is not going to fully fit inside my window here, so I'm going to have to stop in a minute and I'll move it down so you can see everything. It also sometimes takes a while to load depending on the size of your image. We want to be in the 2-up version so we can see the before and the after, and I would probably zoom out so you can clearly see your image and how it's changing as you're converting it. All right, they said they wanted JPEG, so we've got JPEG checked here. Our image quality we want set to maximum. Convert to sRGB. Your image is likely already RGB color mode, but in case it isn't for some reason, maybe some edits that you did to it, make sure that's checked. And then we're going to work on our image size. So down here we've got image size. The recommended pixels in a portrait, which this is, for the height was 780 pixels. Mine is currently 3200. So I'm going to put in 780. But the recommended maximum width was 530. So at 780 height, I'm a little over in the width, so I think I'm actually going to change the width instead of the height. So I'm going to put the width at 530 pixels so that both of mine are under the recommended maximum. So 780 by 530, and I'm a little below that, so that's good. It tells me it's reducing my image size by 22%, or it is 22% of its original. And then the quality, bicubic sharper is usually best when reducing the size of your image. So that's the one we want, unless you have a specific look that you're going for in your picture, or you have read that one of these other choices is better for what you're working on, but in general, bicubic sharper is what we want. So this tells me that my image is now 268K, and it is quite a bit smaller. I could zoom in to make sure it still looks good, which it does. I had to be under 3 megabytes, and I'm well within that guideline, so I'm good to go here. So now I can click Save and save this web file. Part of the reason I like Save for Web is it won't allow you to save over your original. You're always doing a save as. So if I click Save, it's going to ask me where I would like to save it, and I would keep your stuff organized. So here, this is my AP folder with all of my AP pictures. I'm going to go into my folder that I've already made called Resized for Web. It's empty right now because it's my first one. And the file name will stay the same, but I really like to add into it web. So this will always stand out as a web file. It's nothing I'm going to try to print because it will look terrible, but it will look great on a computer screen. And then I can click Save. And then my image is saved, and this is still my original, so I don't have to worry about saving over my original. Now I would recommend creating a Word document or a Google document to keep track of the size that you just saved that picture as. So I'm going to open a Word document and show you what to do here. On the day of the test, we're going to have to go in and upload our photos, but also put in their size. They want to know how big the picture is. So in Google Docs or in Word, I would recommend keeping track of this kind of stuff. So if this is my concentration, and that was picture 8, the chapel, I just resized it to 707, and this is pixels, by 530 pixels width. Now on the test, they may, instead of asking for pixel dimensions, they might ask for your inches dimensions. So how do you check that? If you go to your Resized for Web folder and you open your picture in Photoshop, so now this is my web file, and I remember that because I put the word web in the title. I can go to image, image size, and I can see what the document size is in inches, and I would want to make a note of that so that I can put that on the AP test. And I'm just going to copy and paste it in. So this is in inches, and actually I've got those flip-flopped. I should switch those around because it is, at least in my list there, the height by the width. And then you'd want to keep track of this with each of your pictures. So on the day of the test, you aren't having to open Photoshop and look all this stuff up. You just have it all together in one place. And that is how you resize your images for the AP Digital Portfolio.